The forest smelled of rain that had not yet fallen. Aaron moved through it like a held breath, boots silent on the wet moss, bow loose in one hand, his other hand drifting back every few paces to settle briefly on his son's shoulder. 13-year-old Cale copied each step exactly, his short legs working hard to match his father's longer stride. 3 things a hunter never forgets, Aaron said softly, without turning. What are they? The wind, Cale whispered. Your shadow, the sound of your own breath. Good. A flicker of a smile in his father's voice. And the 4th thing? The one I add? Most things in the woods aren't what they appear to be. Cale paused. Look twice, then look again. Aaron glanced back. His eyes were the same warm brown as Cale's, set in a face weathered by 20 years of tracking. That's right, little hunter. That's the one that keeps you alive. They had come north of Wren's Hollow, chasing a stag. Cale had spotted the prints that morning, proud and clean, exactly as his father had taught him to read. His chest had swelled at his father's quiet nod of approval. He was going to bring back his first kill. He was going to lay the antlers at his sister Nessa's bare feet and watch her squeal and call. Him a mighty hunter, and forget for one whole afternoon that they didn't have enough firewood for winter. The wind shifted. Aaron stopped. For a long moment he did not move at all. Then, very quietly, very calmly, he said, Cull, the hollow log, now. Father, now. He didn't argue. 12 years of his father's voice had carved obedience into the shape of his bones. He ran, low and fast, the way Aaron had taught him, and threw himself into the rotten hollow of the great fallen oak, 20 paces behind them. He pressed his back against the soft pulp of the inside. He made himself small. He made himself nothing. Through the splintered opening, he watched his father turn slowly, bow rising. The first wolf came out of the bracken like a piece of the night that had broken loose. It was the size of a pony. Its fur was black, with a strange dark shimmer like wet ink. Its eyes were the color of old bone. Then another, then another. 6 of them, 7. The last to emerge was the largest. Half its face was white, not gray, not silver, but a sick chalk white, as if the color had been bleached out of the fur by something cruel. Its eyes were not bone but pale, wet yellow. It did not snarl. It walked. Aaron's first arrow took one in the throat. His second split the skull of another. His third. The pack was on him. Cale did not scream. Something in him knew, even at 13, even with his hands shaking so hard the rotten wood crumbled under his fingers, that if he screamed, his father's death would be for nothing. He watched. He had to watch. He owed his father that much. It was not quick. When it was over, the white-faced wolf walked slowly toward the hollow log. Cale stopped breathing. The wolf stopped to pace away. It lowered its great head. It put its nose to the splintered opening and breathed in, deep and slow. And Cale smelled the rot and the iron of it, and he felt the wet warmth of its breath on his face, and his bladder gave way, and he did not even know it. The wolf's pale yellow eye rolled in its socket and fixed on him. It saw him. He knew it saw him. Then, and Cale would never, in 6 years of trying, understand why, it simply turned and walked away. The pack followed. They left him his father's body and the wet leaves and the silence. He stayed in the hollow log until the rain finally came and washed his father's blood into the moss. 3 winters later he left Wren's Hollow at first light, with his father's short sword at his hip and the last of his aunt's bread wrapped in a cloth in his pack. Maeve had not come out of the cottage to see him go. She had said her goodbyes the night before, dry-eyed, the way a woman says goodbye to a thing she has been preparing herself to lose for 3 years. His sister Nessa was 9. She had not been preparing herself for anything. She stood in the cottage doorway in her nightshirt with her bare feet on the cold step, and she did not wave, and she did not cry, and she did not move at all. He looked at her once, from the bend in the road. He did not look again. His father had said to him once, on the difficulty of leaving the people you love, don't make them watch you go more than once. Once is what you owe them, twice is what you owe yourself, and you don't get to have it. The road to Eldridge took 3 days. He arrived at the gates in the last hour of an afternoon, footsore and underfed and a little fevered from sleeping under wet hedges, and the city did not look at him as he walked through. Cities did not, as a rule, look at boys. He found the heavy oak door of the guild at the end of a narrow street that smelled of smoke and piss and cooking grease. He stood in front of it for a long time. Then he reached up and he put his hand on the door and opened it.